Support for today's episode comes from Amazon, sharing stories and initiatives focused on protecting water resources and strengthening water resilience in communities around the world. Ameresco Wastewater Rehab cuts inflow and infiltration risk. Ameresco Wastewater Manhole Rehabilitation reduces inflow and infiltration compliance risk for municipal utilities. Cities managing aging wastewater networks face compounding compliance exposure from deteriorating manholes, where stormwater intrusion can trigger Clean Water Act enforcement before a formal inspection ever takes place. A completed rehabilitation project in Mesquite, Texas, puts that risk in practical terms. Ameresco Inc. completed Phase 1 of a multi-year citywide manhole rehabilitation program with the city of Mesquite, Texas, this week. The project rehabilitated more than 190 manholes across a wastewater system that maintains approximately 6,400 manholes total. The work addressed visible signs of structural deterioration across the collection network, targeting one of the most common and underreported sources of sanitary sewer overflow, SSO, violations for mid-sized municipalities. What inflow and infiltration violations cost municipal wastewater systems? Inflow and infiltration, I&I, is the entry of stormwater and groundwater into sanitary sewer systems through deteriorated manholes, cracked pipes, and failed joints. When wet weather I&I flows overwhelm treatment plant capacity, utilities face SSOs that violate the Clean Water Act and can result in EPA enforcement actions, consent decrees, and fines. The American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE, assigned U.S. wastewater infrastructure a D+ in its 2021 Infrastructure Report Card, with deferred maintenance and aging assets cited as primary risk drivers. During heavy rain events, municipalities with unaddressed I&I issues commonly experience a 20 to 50% increase in treatment plant flow volumes, according to EPA technical guidance, raising operational costs well beyond what rehabilitation would have cost over the asset's service life. Manholes are frequently the lowest cost and highest leverage intervention point in a collection system. Their deterioration is visible, their rehabilitation is well understood, and deferring the work does not lower the long-term bill. It raises it. Mesquite Phase 1 Rehabilitation, polymeric lining, grouting, and structural restoration. Ameresco's scope in Mesquite included a multi-layered polymeric lining system applied after thorough cleaning of each manhole structure. Any identified holes or cracks were grouted and plugged before coating installation to ensure maximum adhesion and long-term performance. The methodology is consistent with established rehabilitation approaches for concrete manhole infrastructure subject to hydrogen sulfide corrosion and groundwater infiltration. Phase 1 is the first component of a larger multi-year commitment. Mesquite City Manager described the program as a proactive cost management strategy, noting that rehabilitating assets before failure reduces both service disruption and long-term treatment costs. The city and Ameresco have an existing partnership that previously covered a smart metering infrastructure rollout for residential and commercial water customers, federal funding availability, and the EPA compliance connection heading into summer. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021 allocated $11.7 billion through the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, specifically to help municipalities address wastewater compliance gaps, including I&I remediation. Despite available funding channels, many mid-sized cities have deferred systematic manhole programs because the work lacks the visibility of large capital projects. EPA enforcement posture on SSO violations has tightened in recent years, with consent decrees increasingly requiring documented rehabilitation schedules as part of compliance agreements. Utilities entering the summer storm season without documented rehabilitation programs or active asset management records carry measurably higher inspection exposure than those that do. Sustainability Soundbites water coverage is sponsored by Amazon. Visit the link in our show notes to learn more about Amazon's Spotlight on Water. For sponsorship opportunities with Environment and Energy Leader, please reach out to a member of our team.